Get the wiggles out.
It's Tony and Chelsea live.
Yeah!
Every Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern. If you're not sure when that is, go to sdp.io/live. And first up, I want to say we have a new way to submit links because last time we figured out that YouTube and Google were filtering out comments that had links in them.
Yeah.
And so we weren't actually seeing links to your portfolios and pictures, so I made a little form. Go to sdp.io/link. And that'll just prompt you to submit a link to your picture or your portfolio. And if you happen to have a portfolio that's hosted on Squarespace, squarespace.com/Tony, we will check it out and review it live during the show. We might get around to non-Squarespace hosted portfolios, but we'll definitely get through a couple of Squarespace portfolios.
Yeah.
They are our sponsor today.
They are. Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for providing a fast and easy professional website or online portfolio. And if you want 10% off, go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code
PhotoLive.
PhotoLive.
You're so very good at that.
I know, I practice.
Yeah, that's why I look to you to do it.
Okay.
So while people are submitting the links to their portfolios and pictures for us to review later, you want to open up a debate?
We have a spicy debate. Canon versus Nikon.
Yeah, like, which is better?
It's like the debate is old as time.
Yeah, well, it's at least like 30 years old, right?
Yeah,
more than that. I'm trying to think of when they've kind of been the top two by like a huge margin.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are other camera companies out there making good cameras.
Well, Leica was the big one for a while. And then Nikon squeezed them out in like, I want to say the 50s?
Really? Leica had like majority market share for a while?
Yeah.
I had no idea that they were ever the biggest and most popular.
Well, I know some things.
I guess you do. You've been studying the camera business.
Sometimes I do that.
So we use Canon, but honestly, I don't have any particular strong opinions about it. We have a couple of Nikon cameras that we go to for different things.
Yeah.
For me, Nikon, way better sensors. Just massive megapixels. Oh, that D800E with those 36 megapixels. If you can get a lens that's sharp enough to use it, you can make amazing pictures. Most people are out there just using like crappy kit lenses.
Yeah.
And they're not getting anywhere near that level of detail, in which case it doesn't even matter. Canon, on the other hand, they have this like amazing focusing system. And most people tend to like the Canon ergonomics better. Me, I kind of like the dials and stuff on the Nikons a little bit better.
You like the ergonomics of the Nikon?
You know, it's a little thing, but I like the dial on your thumb up here.
Yeah, it is nice to have that thumb
Because
dial.
on Canon, you got to go down. It's just not quite as comfortable to me.
I know, I always say it. I don't have
You take
brand.
your finger off your button.
I don't have brand loyalty. I don't know why people. I hate to like make the debate not fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming to our debate.
I feel like one technology is always leapfrogging the other. So if one was really better than the other, then one of them would have died away a while ago. It's like one gets something a little bit better, then the other one copies. I mean, they're both multi-billion-dollar companies. They have what it takes to do the R&D, and they're always coming out with something new. So right now, I actually think Canon's a little bit in the lead. I love the Mark III, but Nikon will surely come out with something else in the next 5 years.
All right, well, I'll incite some debate.
What?
Canon lenses, just better. There's more of them.
Okay.
Now, yeah, you can take...
No, they are.
Example.
I mean, that's not a debate. That's actually just a fact.
Yeah, there are, especially when you get to specialized lenses. Like, we have this MPE lens, which is a super macro lens. It goes down to 5x magnification, so you can see, like, hair follicles and stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there's nothing like it for Nikon.
There isn't?
No, if you want that, you have to get a Canon body for it.
Okay, here's something about lenses, though. For Nikon, you can go all the way back and use any of their old lenses on your current body. Yeah. And for Canon, they changed it. And anything before like 1980 something, I can't remember.
Yeah.
You can't use old lenses. How many people actually do that? I don't know.
Oh man, I've tried and those old lenses are terrible.
They're terrible anyway. That's what I think.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, the same with Nikon. The technology's old.
Like, there's no resolution to it.
I was trying to play the other side of the fence, but I agree. That's not really that bad of a thing.
I'm sure people are doing it. Canon has more tilt-shift lenses. And they have that amazing 400 millimeter f5.6 prime that we always talk
Well,
about.
what are people
Nikon's just
saying?
missing.
Are we enraging anyone yet, Justin?
Well, someone said Canon for sports, spray and pray. Nikon if you were making a photograph.
Oof, Nikon if you're making a photograph.
That's
Canon for just the clumsy people who hold the shutter down.
Yeah,
You
that's
dummies, you just hold it down and you just weave around.
yeah.
And you
That's
just
what
hope
I
for the
do.
best.
I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I just hold down the shutter and just and then voila, ta-da!
All right, that one hurt a little bit. It's a valid point because if you take your time with that extra resolution, I think you can get more picture out of the Nikon.
Oh, they're getting a little sassy. Someone else said spray and pay. There's a reason why most professional photogs use Canon. When was the last time you saw a Nikon being used for anything important? Whoa. Whoa!
You're right. I can't. Nobody has ever used a Nikon for anything important.
That's why Erky uses one.
Ooh.
The next one says, really? How about the Olympics? I like that I'm giving everyone a voice. Really? How about the Olympics? More than half of the photographers were carrying Nikon. Yeah, but they just put the Nikon logos on so nobody would want to steal it.
Yeah, but this is their special program for kids.
Oh, it was.
It was like a make-believe thing.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, all their pictures were out of focus. It was really too bad.
They should have just sprayed and paid.
Got anything else, Justin?
Well, this I thought was very insightful. Both are excellent instruments. Applying proper techniques is what creates great photographs. You can't buy great photos at a camera counter, but using good training and good technique and composition will always trump equipment.
Your logic is not welcome here.
Boring.
Boo, down with logic.
Pick a
Stop
side.
being reasonable.
No more of that, Justin. Ban that guy.
You got it.
Landscape. Bill Peppa says landscape and architecture shooters say the Nikon 12 to 24 is the best lens. I don't know. Maybe it's slightly sharper or something. But if you're a landscape photographer, I think you might want a tilt shift lens. That would be cool.
I don't know. I can't pretend to know what people want.
What do you think, Justin?
This one from Jerry Johnson says, I still use my F-Deer gear. Guess I'm an idiot. Thanks, Tony.
We've been saying that. We were like, Jerry Johnson, that idiot.
Yeah, you were the only person who seemed to disagree, but now it's unanimous, I guess.
Yeah. We're just teasing. You're not an idiot. You're just a Jerry Johnson.
No, you know what's funny is I actually, this main camera here, the 2-shot, is being filmed on an FD lens right now. We just swapped it out. It's an old
Why would you
FD
say that?
50mm f1.4. It just seemed like it was a funny coincidence because I just swapped it out today. I have this old lens and I still like it.
Well,
I'm
let's
an
cut to
adapter.
that lens and see how it looks.
You're looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
It looks like garbage.
The main one.
It looks like total garbage. Just teasing.
Yeah, sometimes you can still find a sharp lens. I'm using it on a micro 4/3, and honestly, I'm not sure. I tested it side by side. It's not nearly as sharp as like $100 new lens, but it was convenient, and it's got that aperture ring on it. But I love to use it because it's built for manual focus. It's got like knobby rings and stuff on
Yeah.
it, and it
You're a
doesn't take great
sucker.
pictures.
You're a sucker
But
for that stuff.
It has a good feel. Sometimes that's what
I
counts.
know. You go crazy about it.
You know what else I hate about Nikon?
What?
The focusing motor thing. Like some older lenses don't have an older motor built into the lens, so the camera body has to have a motor in it.
Oh, really?
So you have some of the bodies, the lower end bodies, don't have a focusing motor, and if you use one of these lenses, then you have to manually focus. The higher end bodies have a focusing motor, so you can use these lenses. Most of the newer lenses do have a focusing motor, but it adds this extra level of complexity. And when you're recommending lenses to people, you have to like tell them to watch out for like AF or AFS lenses. And so a lot of the good deals that are out there require a focusing motor, and it's just kind of a pain. Canon, when they restarted with their new format, just made everything electronically autofocus. No focusing motors. What you got, Justin?
What you got, Justin?
I saw this earlier this morning, and I was kind of curious about the story behind it. Erky says, or
Erky.
My mistake.
He will get mad at you.
He will get you.
Erky says, the only reason I chose Nikon was because Tony advised me to get the D800, and he's a Canon user. So there you go.
That's a lie.
I would never do that.
That's a bold-faced lie. That's why we're not friends with Erky.
Yeah, Erky at the time was really interested in doing commercial and stock photography, and that's what I was into too. And I was just drooling over the D800 and D800E.
Yeah.
Because they just had so much more detail and just flat out a better sensor. So that's what I told them to go for.
You know what I think?
That's what I would have gone for.
I think you were intimidated by Erky, and you didn't want him to be better than you. So you told him to get that
Sabotage
camera,
him with
and
a
you
Nikon.
sabotaged him. You sabotaged that Swede, but good.
So I would still recommend, that's still the camera I recommend to the buyer's guide for that type of work. But since then, Erky's been doing like wildlife stuff, and he's been going back and forth trying to find the best lens.
Yeah.
And I keep wanting to recommend the Canon 400 f5.6, except I told the guy to go to Nikon.
Oh.
So it's tough. If you want to be good at wildlife on a Nikon, like they don't have a 400 f5.6, so you have to go to like a much more expensive lens and spend like almost twice as much just to get the 300 and a teleconverter. Anyway,
Sorry, Erky. That's what you get for listening to Tony.
I see Michael says, grab the brands your friends have so you can steal their lenses. And I actually,
Yeah.
with all the nitpicking, like that's one of the biggest factors because most of it doesn't make that big of a difference. But if your friend has Canon, get Canon. If your friend has Nikon, get Nikon. And
What if your
swap
friend
lenses
is
back.
greedy? Then just disregard this advice.
Yeah, go the opposite.
Go the opposite. Or what if your friend is like you and never uses lens caps?
Oh yeah, don't loan me your lenses.
Don't say that.
I am
People actually loan us lenses.
I'm actually meticulous when people loan me gear. I take good care of it.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I feel bad. I treat the gear as they would treat it. My own gear, I just abuse it and throw it around. Not a scratch.
Not a scratch.
Not a scratch.
Okay.
Some cracks.
This debate is getting stale. I want to talk about something else.
Okay.
I want to talk about all of the most annoying things that people say to photographers and do to photographers. And I brought this up in the group, and people had some pretty funny ones, and I'm seeing them pop up here. Erky, we would talk about Erky a lot. We love that Swede. Hey, where'd you go? You scrolled it away. He said, wow, what a nice big camera. It must be able to take good pictures. I hate when people say that. Well, you just scrolled away. Oh, and he says, yeah, right. Just because you use the same knives as Gordon Ramsay doesn't mean you can cook Michelin star level food. And he's absolutely right. And I actually almost say that same thing. Like, you can't buy a good set of pots and pans and suddenly be a gourmet chef. It takes practice. Why do people say that?
Yeah, it's funny you made the cooking reference because we offered to take some pictures of a restaurant recently, just friends who run a restaurant. And we were just going to do it as a favor. And they said they didn't need it because one of the waitresses had a really nice Nikon and he was just going to stay late and take pictures himself. It's a person who doesn't really know how to use the camera.
That's fine though, because if someone doesn't know the difference and it gets me out of a favor.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's great. If you're happy with the pictures, that's all that counts. But the person literally thought just having the right camera was all they needed to take the good pictures.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing else except the gear. Like hiring a photographer is just renting gear basically and somebody to carry the gear to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like a gear pack mule.
Yeah. We still go there even though we could just buy the right oven and we'd be making the same food.
I wish that were true. We would never have to go to dinner again.
Yeah.
Save us a lot of money.
We'd have to hire a dishwasher. What else annoys photographers, Chelsea?
Well, there should be some more up there. I put it on Facebook. Oh, my least favorite one is when I go to if I go out with like the 500 millimeter people, they say it all of the time. I have no idea why. You could see the moon with that thing all of the time without fail. I'm like, you can see the moon right now. You just look, see, it's right there. I don't know why they keep saying that to me.
Another thing they'll say when you have that big telephoto is they'll say, oh, I bet you could see a mosquito on like an elephant's back.
Yeah, they're like, I bet you could see a tic-tac on a baby's finger 800 miles away. Like, they always have some zinger. I'm like, no.
And then the nerd in me wants to say, no, that would be a macro lens, not a telephoto lens.
Oh my gosh, that is really nerdy.
I know, so I just fight it and nod, yes, you can see that.
How about when, like, you just want to go to a family function and they're like, will you take pictures of everybody? And you're like, will you, on a Sunday, work for me? We get that a lot.
You know what? Sometimes you'll get tricked into a party. Somebody will, hey, we're having a party on Friday. You want to come? There's
going to be chocolate there and candy, Chelsea. They really trick you really good.
Yeah, I'd love to come. And then they'll say, oh, why don't you bring your camera with you? Share some pictures.
Yeah.
Take some pictures and send them to us afterwards. Yeah. Like, I see. You just tricked me into agreeing to go.
Yeah.
And working for free. Like, no. If I have to take
pictures,
on to
you.
Then I'm not. It's work.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's good work.
This has got to be happening to everybody else too, right? I guess it's kind of flattering if people want you to take pictures.
Colin Harley contributes the "Are you a photographer?" line, which you get all the time. You just have, yes, we're all photographers.
I guess if you're taking pictures, you're technically a photographer.
Yeah, even if you have an iPhone, you're a photographer.
I'd like to trick people to be like, "Are you a photographer?" And I'd be like, "Oh, what, this? No, I'm working out. I just carry this around. Just carrying it. Doesn't even have batteries."
Anything else annoying people, Justin?
Well,
annoying.
Airkey also says, my uncle did a wedding once with a compact camera and he took fantastic pictures. In quotes.
Yeah, no, he didn't. That's what you say. You say, no, he didn't. You're a dirty, rotten liar.
Yeah, let's see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been some really annoying trends with weddings. Like during the 90s, people were handing out disposable cameras.
Yeah, disposable cameras. And you know what that ends in? You have
pictures of the
200
privates.
Blurry pictures
Of privates. And the best man's junk.
That's what.
Always one of those.
Not saying that's what I did, but.
Yeah, you will have a lovely album with the corner of somebody's finger in front of every picture, because that always happened.
Yeah.
I've seen so many of these disposable camera things, but now it's just like, well, we're just going to have everybody take pictures with their iPhone, and then we'll put it in a Flickr pool.
It'll be fine. We didn't want to remember anything anyway.
Yeah. I guess that's the same. What else you got there for us there, Justin?
Oh, Jonathan Quigley. Sorry, I stole your job, Justin.
Okay.
Constantly hearing, why not just use your iPhone?
Oh, you stole mine.
I did? Because we have taste. I like being a photo snob today.
Matt Colossus says when he's out traveling with a big lens, people ask him if he's compensating for something. Like, that's real nice. You're out trying to take pictures and somebody's got to accuse you of having inadequate privates.
This is what you do. You say, my last name is Colossus. Do I seem like a man with a small penis? And you do eye contact until they look away. And that's what I would do. You assert your dominance.
Remember the time we brought the big telephoto lenses to the Bronx Zoo on Free Day?
I mean, yeah, how could I forget that?
They were like busing in high school kids from all over New York, and
they were all harassing
us.
us.
It was crazy. So many comments. Whoa, that's the biggest camera I've ever seen. Whoa, how much that camera cost?
It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. Not as crazy as all, like, I like when you're at the zoo and the parents are trying to tell their kids stuff. They're looking at, like, a tapir and they're like, that's a monkey to their kid. And you're like, no, why are you teaching your kid that? Like, they're looking at a zebra and they're like, look, kid's a donkey. And you're like, no, there's a sign right there that says what it is.
I distinctly remember somebody's calling a tree kangaroo a monkey.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
And there was a big sign that said tree kangaroo and had all of its biology
huge,
listed.
Like a cartoon picture of it. Like, please read me. Don't tell your kids I'm a monkey.
Yeah, way to derail your child's curiosity about life.
Yeah, you're like, no, don't read this. Just call everything a monkey.
If it's in a tree, it's a monkey. That's all I need to know.
I kind of derailed the conversation. But.
What else you got there, Justin?
Well, looks like we are I'm just watching the comments come in as you're talking. I hate the new Facebook commercial that says you don't need a photographer because now you have Facebook and friends. Wow.
Has Facebook never seen the pictures on Facebook?
Oh my God, why would they do that to us? You don't need a photographer.
I've actually had a few times now where I've known people on Facebook and they ask me to do a portrait shoot of their kids. And I know that they don't really have the money to do it and they're young. And I think, you know what? I've known them. Like I went to high school with them or something. I'll just give them like super cheap, like $80. And they're offended. They think it's like crazy expensive. And a few times it almost seems like they're retaliating. Like they put a blanket behind their baby and take like a horrible picture. I was like, oh, like it would be really rude to be like, I was doing you a favor. I'm not trying to offend you. But yeah, those Facebook pictures, like people just stick a kid's blanket behind a baby. They're a photographer now.
Yeah. And we've experienced the bait and switch a few times. You cut a deal with somebody, like we cut a deal with somebody to take family pictures for our portfolio once. And she just wanted kids' pictures. But she shows up for the family pictures and she's wearing sweats. And she refuses to be in the pictures.
Yeah.
And by then we'd already sunk hours into
Tony,
like
you know
preparing
what?
and everything.
We're suckers.
I know.
I should just drink
learn this
before
stuff the
every
hard
negotiation so I can be mean. I'm actually in the middle of a negotiation now with a company to do like commercial photography. And it's
the retainer
rough.
gig.
Yeah. I don't know what this lady's expensive. Being a photographer is a tough gig. You take a lot of ish.
Yeah, it really is. Nobody really appreciates the value. Most people have enough of a experience with the photography world that they think they can do it. They think they know how it goes.
Yeah.
And they don't need any post-processing. That's what they always say.
No, I don't need post-processing, but could you make me look 50 pounds lighter? That's basically what we hear.
When you're negotiating with them, no post-processing. When you pull the camera out and you're taking the picture, like, can you do anything about this? Can you make me look a little thinner?
Yeah, it's rough. I don't know how I'm not just a really mean person by now. I am.
So speaking of commercial work, Chelsea, you landed a pretty major gig.
Well, probably the coolest photography gig there has ever been.
Yeah, a Mother's Day advertising campaign, a pretty big campaign by the 50th largest company in the world.
50th, you looked into this.
I did. They're on the Forbes 100 list. This is Kraft Food.
Kraft
It's a major
food.
company, and they used, I think, 3 or 4 of your pictures on a Mother's Day promotion.
And how it unraveled.
Let's take a look at this.
Velveeta.
Liquid gold, I call it.
Oh, liquid gold.
Yeah, so you're a handsome model there. Check that out.
Dang, you look good. I will marry you.
I'd like to point out that we are not responsible for the Photoshop work here.
Well,
there was no Velveeta.
I do have to say, this is kind of an old photo shoot, and actually, I feel like I over photoshopped you, and I forgot. It's like horrible when your mistakes live on forever because I overdid it a little bit, and now there's like 200 comments saying you look as plastic as Velveeta. So I won't live that down.
But look how big this campaign is. It got 2,600 likes, 74 shares, and that's just one of the pictures it got. There were a bunch of different pictures. So I look especially crazy on this one. I checked, they definitely did a lot of photoshopping on my face after your work.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't do that.
No, you didn't do that. They made my teeth extra bright and they added those lights to my eyes.
I thought that looked like something I wouldn't do. I'm glad I didn't do that.
They definitely intentionally made me look insane.
Weird.
And people ask why are you using oven mitts?
You were holding a pie in the original picture.
Yeah, I was holding it like a hot pie out of the oven. But yeah, my face looks extra crazy there. And for the record, I'm totally fine with this use. Knock yourself out. I've been on Cialis and Viagra ads. I find it only hilarious when my image is manipulated and people do crazy things with me.
Well, I thought it was funny, but then the comments got pretty mean.
Oh, yeah. It turns out, I mean, I'm a Texas boy.
Yeah.
And we grew up on Velveeta.
Yeah.
Velveeta and Rotel makes the best cheese dip. I don't care if you're the snobbiest Connecticut crowd, you break out a bowl of cheese dip with Velveeta,
Yeah.
people clean it out. It is gone in minutes.
Yeah.
But we grew up on that stuff. And But I think the Velveeta crowd, the
It's
people
the
who love it so much to
Walmart
like
of
it,
the internet,
Yeah.
basically. Because
yeah, they might not be the most sophisticated crowd on the
I
internet.
don't think so, but I'm still pretty proud of that because you really love Velveeta, and I feel like this was my Mother's Day gift to you.
I was so excited.
You were.
This picture is really funny because here, this was for a health food shoot, and I'm stirring a salad. So you can see I have salad tongs in my hands, and they replaced it with
Velveeta and
plus chocolate.
Everybody knows that combination's a winner.
Woo, that sounds pretty crazy. It's also weird to be mixing in a wood bowl with salad tongs.
Yeah, my
but
beautiful wooden bowl. You know what? We should make it and see if it kills us. We'll test it on Justin. Justin, how do you feel about Velveeta and chocolate?
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, he's kind of a southern boy too. He's not opposed to Velveeta. Up around here, everybody's like, "Oh, what is that?"
Put
But
my nose up at Velveeta.
I promise, you melt up some Velveeta with Rotel.
No, I love that. You know
Yeah.
I love that.
Chelsea felt compelled to put this picture up just to prove that I'm not a wax figure, and people question my sexuality for some reason. I don't know why that would even be a factor.
Because you do your hair and you don't have a neck tattoo, and also you have all your teeth.
I gotta get a neck tattoo.
You should. And I'll just put a little Sharpie on this tooth, and you'll be manly. You'll be good to go.
All right, that's good. Well, congrats to you, and I guess congrats to me on being a model in a very strange way. I had a lot of people recognize us, like people I went to high school with and stuff. They're like,
Yeah,
they finally experienced my work.
It's so weird that that's how. And people message me, and they're like, I saw Tony in the Velveeta ad. Wow. They're a little freaked out about it. It's like, it's what we do, baby. We're living large. We got the cheese.
Yeah.
Food, the cheese food. I don't think I can.
Yeah, you can't legally call it cheese.
You can't legally call it cheese.
You could spell it with a Z, or you could say it. We got the cheesy flavors.
Cheesy. You could call it cheese-y or cheese-ish. You have to be careful.
Technically cheese food.
Cheese food.
Delicious cheese food.
One guy on there in the comments said he used it to help with his jock itch.
I don't recommend that use. I don't know that the FDA has approved it for that use.
Okay.
So I can't legally recommend that.
Okay. That's safe. That's safe.
You want to take a look at some
What are we gonna look at?
portfolios? Let's see. Here is a Squarespace portfolio.
Squarespace. I know them.
Oh no. That didn't
Oh
work.
no. We're embarrassed.
Bradley Bowers. There we go. This is a Squarespace portfolio.
I can tell by the streamlined design.
And the full screen interface, look at that. Oh, his pictures look so good. We love using Squarespace. All right, so which of these categories are you most interested in?
Let's go to high speed.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Let's see what's happening. Ooh, my pants are noisy today.
Wow, he's doing some paint work here.
Well,
You know, the first picture there was definitely the most compelling. Go to thumbnails down here. This one I think is the coolest because he's pretty much eliminated all the distractions.
yeah, the second
It
one,
really
the
got me
background was
close.
way too busy. You're gonna have to take that out. See, because I see the fence and trees and a path.
I get it. It's got to be a little scary because he's working with paint. He probably doesn't want to put his camera
Yeah, but
super
look,
close
there's
to
a
the
brick
paint.
wall right to the left. He could just turn and make that the background.
Yeah, or maybe he could even put a piece of glass in front of his camera just so it doesn't get on the lens. Or just get a telephoto lens and get really close. Let's see, what's this? Okay, I don't know that the high speed conveys in that picture. This is another good picture because you're really zeroed in on it. I would suggest cranking up that f-stop number, get some more depth of field.
Yeah, I think he needs more light on it too. Make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, especially for high speed stuff, you want to be working at like 1 2,000ths, 1 4,000ths of a second. So you need a ton of light. You probably want strobes with high speed sync.
Yeah.
Get those. I like the Yongnuo YN 568.
He is
EX.
outside though, so he probably doesn't have strobes.
Yeah,
So
you
he's
know,
trying to do it naturally.
that's actually a better way to do it. Just use bright sunlight on a clear day, and that
Yeah.
can give you enough light. But you do want to be shooting at a high ref stuff number because you want to get close too.
Ooh, look at that
that's
snowy.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Ooh, missed the focus on that one. So you just gotta, I know you want to
focus on the nearest eye.
but if you miss the focus, you just gotta drop it.
Yeah.
And just take lots of pictures because your camera's gonna miss focus every now and then.
Yeah.
I would, in a situation like this, if I was so close, I would take 100 pictures and then pick the single sharpest picture.
I know that about you.
Yeah. Same with this one. You know, it's a good action shot, but we missed it. That
I'd
one,
crop this one down.
yeah, we don't need to see this lady's face on there.
And level it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Level and crop. Wow.
Ooh, this is a good one. This should be your first picture. There's a catchlight in the bird's eyes.
Oh, okay. Oh, look, I didn't know you could categorize pictures like that.
Oh, cool. We are learning.
Wow. What's going on there? That I've never seen them actually feed the tigers at the zoo.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Snow leopard. What a beautiful animal. This first picture is really strong. You know, I would probably say just put one picture in from each species.
Yeah, I would too. I would say the same thing as you.
And that first picture was the best.
Sweet. But you got the fence in the picture. And I don't know, maybe you were trying to convey that they were behind a fence. Otherwise.
But most of these, the fence is abstracted. And what you do is you shoot wide open and you get really close to the fence.
Yeah.
And that will usually eliminate it.
And take any light off of the fence.
Some beautiful pictures in there. Rewound back up to the top. Oh, I guess we went through the whole thing.
We did.
Okay. Looking pretty good.
So my advice for the wildlife category would be to pare it down. If a picture is blurry or you miss the focus, get rid of it because that's your portfolio. People are going to think that you think it's acceptable to have blurry eyes and out of focus pictures. You can't have that.
It's okay if you have 5 pictures in a category. That's better than having 15 pictures and having blurry pictures.
Yeah, I agree.
Only show your very best work. And this one looks a little out of focus too. I can see the focal plane is right there and it's a little bit off. All right. A lot of these are nice and good, nice and sharp. What were you going to say, Jill?
Oh, I was going to say that you have a video on focus stacking that would be really good for his macro work.
Yeah, especially for the still life stuff, like the water droplets.
Yeah.
I pretty much always shoot with focus stacking, and then sometimes I'll just pick a single frame, but often I'll end up using some or more of them. So chapter 12 of Stunning Digital Photography
Chapter
covers
12
it.
of our book. You're going to learn some things. You're going to be really happy.
I love time lapses. I'm going to just play this first one here. Let's hope that he started out with his best one. Oh, that's really cool. I've gotten into time lapses lately, and so is our producer Justin, and they're just one of the coolest things you can do. Logistically, it can be hard because you have to leave your camera in a place and not touch it for preferably hours at a time.
That is pretty cool.
Oh, I wish it had kept going.
Ah! Oh my God!
What the heck?
What are we seeing? Oh my God! I need an adult.
YouTube suggestions, man. I do not know how it goes about.
Why?
Why would it suggest that?
Oh my God.
Stranger
he's
danger.
13.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you're off to a fantastic start. I mean, I did not have a camera until I was like 23, 24 years old. So you're a decade ahead of me.
Yeah.
Just think how amazing it's going to be when you're 22 years old.
Yeah.
You start now and you keep at it, and it's time that matters the most, time and practice.
I love our younger stunners.
Yeah,
no
I think that's
offense,
the
older
most
stunners,
important
but like when you're 13 to, I want to say 18, you're just like a sponge. You can just soak stuff up. I've taught piano for like 12 years or something, and my teenage students were always just the fastest learners. It's a cool age. Keep practicing. We have a lot of good videos for you.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to be in your teens and have some drive, oh, that's the best way to master any sort of skill. It gives you like a decade jump on everybody else who's going to wait until they can't pay the rent to bother learning a skill.
I know. Lucky.
I'd probably combine these two menu items. I didn't like that. I had to go through a sub-menu, but he shows his gear there. That's good. But we want to see like a picture of you. Maybe he doesn't want to put a picture of himself because he's younger, but Okay. I don't know what this stuff is.
I don't know what that is either. I don't get it, but I trust that it's good.
And he's got a contact page with his email address. I'd probably combine this and the gear all in the About Me page.
Yeah. Okay.
Put a picture there if you feel
Let's see another
comfortable
one.
with it.
I like this.
Okay.
It's fun.
Let me just pull up another link.
Is this Squarespace?
This one is not Squarespace. And as you can tell, like, look right away, it's not as cool, right? No offense, Colin Palin Stewart, but if you decide you do want a Squarespace portfolio, where would you go?
The mall?
Yeah, you would go to your local mall and find a Squarespace outlet.
I would go to squarespace.com/Tony.
And there you can set up a portfolio completely free for
Well,
14
yeah, you get
days.
14 days for free.
No credit card or anything.
No credit card or anything. And if you decide you like it, there are a few plans that you can pick from. The least expensive one is $8 per month. And you can get 10% off if you use our coupon code, which is...
Photo Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Squarespace is a sponsor of ours, but they also host both of our portfolios.
Yes.
And
I love my site.
yeah.
It's chelseanorthrup.com. I'm going to be doing a travel blog. We're going to a few countries soon to do some photography. And it's super easy to do, and I think it looks great.
Yeah, I had mine set up with an entire store so people can buy prints directly from me, and that's included in the price. The domain name, like northrupphotography.com, is included in there too. And they make it so easy to set up, you don't have to be technical. You literally just drag your pictures in. And that's great because it lets you focus on the art of photography and not learning CSS and HTML and all this burdensome stuff.
Yeah.
And if something does go wrong, they have a great support team that gets
The Care
back to you.
Bear layer.
The Care Bear layer.
24/7.
Gets back to you right away. So let's look at Colin Palin Stewart photography. All right, that's...
I like that band pic.
Yeah, though, is it deliberate that the backdrop is part of the picture? Because it might be. Maybe that's part of what they're trying to communicate.
I don't know. It's like, if it were a wall, I'd think that it was supposed to be there, but it's kind of, it's a little bit wrinkly or something. But it's still a good picture.
Yeah.
Being nitpicky now.
I like the tilt on that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. I felt like I wish I could control this. Squarespace
Control
lets you
freak.
control it.
I
That's
like
a really
that
nice
picture.
portrait. Yeah, good processing on it. I like the way she's gazing off camera. Oh, I skipped one. Yeah, see, I wish there were like thumbnails or a way to pause it. It gets a little frustrating.
Let's go to the menus on the left.
Okay.
Oops. Whoa. Wait, I think I've seen this person's portfolio before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're still life photos. Look familiar.
Let's check out
Oh,
sports.
wait. Travel. I think that's
You want
Berlin.
travel?
Yeah.
That looks like the Seattle Space Needle to me.
That's, I think, Canada.
No, it's Berlin.
Vancouver, I think. Is it Berlin?
It's
Justin says
Berlin.
Vancouver.
All right, let's go.
Well, perhaps you
You'll
could
tell us.
let us know, Connor.
Connor, you need to settle this debate. Berlin. See?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
What do I win?
That's Canadian language.
Canadian language.
Yeah.
Eulenburger Strasse. Cool blieben und Kanzlergen Wagen, Tony. I speak German.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like the
One,
tilt on that.
two
That's really nice. Oh, look at
sausages.
that. That's. I like the symmetry there, and here the power lines actually work, or trolley lines, because they help direct your eyes right down.
Yeah,
the
that was
power.
a cool photo. I was like cropping it with my hands. Little Lucy.
Cool graffiti shot. You know, I like to include graffiti in like street photography with a person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that
Ooh,
cropped
this
a
is
little
a
bit
fire
more.
breather. I love
Oh,
that.
that's a beautiful shot.
How
Yeah, that's just
peaceful.
beautiful. Looks like desktop background for Windows, maybe.
She's like, get out of the puddle. I just got you those shoes. Didn't I tell you? Come on, we're going home. No cookies. Sorry.
Germans are strict.
What are they doing?
This is also in Berlin. I don't think so. That's a fantastic shot.
You're bad at this.
That's just beautiful.
It is good.
Yeah, you couldn't plan that out. Wow, that's perfect. You nailed that. I love the placement of the horizon and the sun and the lighting. Just fantastic. Beautiful God rays there.
Beautiful.
So my first suggestion is that
Get those little speckles out.
reorder it because we didn't see your best picture first. Man, I'm having a hard time navigating this website.
It looks like you're having some click issues.
Okay, here we're back to the thumbnails. This is your strongest picture. Put that right up here. That's a good picture too, actually.
Good.
I guess I didn't start at the beginning for some reason.
Why?
All right.
See?
That is Paris or Platz at Berlin. Oh, and that's the Holocaust Memorial. They have a very odd name in English
I think
for
it's
that.
called the Memorial of...
For the murdered Jews, I recall.
Something really graphic.
Like, it's not something you would say in English.
Yeah.
It's just kind of an odd translation.
They're pretty literal in Germany.
So I think you usually want your second best picture last.
Okay.
And so I think this or this
You like
first
the bull
one. Yeah, I'd take out some of this in the middle. There are a few too many pictures. But overall, that's looking great.
I like that one of the mom yelling at the baby.
And by the way, the whole point of this live exercise is that you guys can contribute your own thoughts as we're going through it. So if you like stuff, make a comment about it. Say, I love this, or I would do this differently about it. And that's great feedback for Connor because he'll be reading the comments
help
too.
Connor out. He
Yeah.
seems like a great guy.
Connor's pretty cool. Look at him there. Look how
Look at
cool
him.
he's being.
Very cool.
Too many words about Connor, though. Anything we could do with like a couple of sentences?
Yerky has always said it's because we're American that we don't want to read stuff. Whoa, I look like I look crazy. But yeah, I suspect nobody likes reading.
I love to see a testimonials page like this. I would just add, if you could, add a few pictures of the people.
Okay.
It just makes it so much more personable, I think.
Write him a message. I love to do that.
That seems like it would take a while. But
Party
all the people watching.
Party poopa. We just watched some of Kindergarten Cop last night.
Yeah, we didn't get through the whole
Party
thing because it's an
poopa.
awful movie, but... Well, Justin, you want to jump to questions? You got any questions for us?
It's not the tumor.
I do. There's a question from Joan Ferreria. Random question. I see a PC on your desk. Why not Mac? How does Lightroom differ for you on the different systems?
I wrote something like 32 books about Microsoft Windows.
Yeah, but if you had a Mac, then you could start to learn that too. Lazy.
We do own a Mac, and we all kind of hate it. It's just fine. It runs the same apps, and Lightroom on Photoshop and
all
Premiere
the same
Pro.
to me.
They're all exactly the same on the Mac. But you know, all the stuff. The operating system has kind of shrunk in importance over the years, I think, and I'm perfectly comfortable on Mac OS and iPhones and Android phones and all these different things.
Yeah.
But okay, so why not a Mac? Well, PCs are cheaper, and they seem to get the job done just fine. And for the money, for the performance, PCs are almost always cheaper. You could get the same performance on a Mac, and it would cost you a little bit more.
Yeah, because
I don't care
Macs
either way,
are like
so.
stylish. Like,
Yeah, you pay some for style.
Yeah, all the hip kids use Mac, but we're just not that cool, I guess.
Yeah. Any other questions for us, Justin?
Well, this one is from Supreme Music. I just bought the Nikon D5300 with an 18 to 140 millimeter kit lens to take to an air show. Am I going to be pleased?
That's completely up to you. Are you?
For the planes on the ground, that's kind of an ideal lens. And if you had to have one lens for the whole air show, I think that's a pretty
think
good
it's
choice.
good? But will he be pleased? I don't know. I can't. I feel like I can't tell him. Can't tell him that.
Yeah, you'll be able to get some decent flying shots. I think that's a good choice. It's a super zoom. So the thing about super zooms is they're not as sharp as having two separate zooms. You'd get better sharpness if you had an 18 to 55 and then a 55 to 200 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not the best of both worlds. It's just more versatile. You get one lens and you don't have to change your lenses. So yeah, I guess you'll be happy.
He'll be pleased. In conclusion, he'll be pleased.
What else you got, Justin, while I pop this other beer?
Pop it like it's hot, Tony.
I actually thought this was pretty interesting, and I'd like to know the answer if either one of you know it.
What?
Zain Syed says, why do lenses not focus sharply on their extreme focal lengths?
Oh, you know this one, don't you? We've talked about this before.
Under extreme focal length. So I guess they mean...
Like the end of their reach? Like
Yeah.
The Tamron 150 to 600 and
Yeah.
600.
Yeah, and it's because... How do I explain? Well, the lens design tends to be optimized for something in the middle. And often they're... what's a good way to explain it? Lens manufacturers reach often.
Yeah.
Often, the Tamron 150 to 600 probably should have been a 150 to 500.
Yeah.
But for marketing reasons, they wanted it to go to 600. Often they'll come up with a lens design, but they need to reach certain marketing specs. So if they need to make a 24 to 70, if Tamron's making a 24 to 70, Canon and Nikon have that. They can't do 24 to 65 because it just wouldn't sell because everybody would think, oh, it's shorter. So they need to get to 70. And sometimes they'll have a great design that works great to 65 and then they'll just stretch it a bit.
Oh,
So
goodness.
if you go for like a pro level lens, then they'll be sharp at the long end and at the short end. But if you go for a consumer lens, they're almost always soft at the short and long ends.
So I think
It's just a
to
compromise.
summarize what you're saying is it's all about the Benjamins.
Right. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Any other questions there, Justin?
There was Jean-Christophe B. asked, any news about Canon 7D Mark II or the 6D Mark II? And Siobhan says you should repeat the question because apparently they can't hear me. I'm trying to troubleshoot my mic. So.
Oh, okay. So I didn't hear the name, but somebody asked, what about the 7D Mark II and the 6D Mark II?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, there's no news.
I haven't
It's
heard
not-
anything either.
I don't know why people are so interested in a camera that does not exist. Canon has made no mention of it ever.
Well,
We can suppose it'll come
on
out
those
eventually.
forums, they get to speculating, and then people get excited. So
Yeah.
that's what happens.
No, but we'll definitely let you know when it's ready.
Oh, so Juke AFK says you're going to Prague. I saw your profile pic on Facebook, and there was a marker on Prague, and that's because we've been to Prague, and I guess maybe you're from there because you're talking about it.
Yeah,
It was
what
very nice.
a gorgeous city.
Beautiful.
Taxis can be a little hairy in Prague.
We had a really comically difficult time figuring out the, I don't know what you call it there, the tube or the subway, the underground train system.
Yeah, all
We were
transport
bad
is
at
difficult
it.
in
We
Prague.
were really bad at it, but it was a gorgeous city.
They still have like communist era public transportation, so the subway systems and such. And the system, I'm sure when you live there, you work it out right away, but for a tourist, it's impossible.
Well, we couldn't read the language, so that was...
Yeah, that's part of it, but it was
Yeah.
extremely complex. Anyway, and I'd even looked up English translations of the maps and stuff and had it ready, but I still screwed up, and we ended up paying like $200 in fines because
They find us.
it's one of those, like, if you go to New York, you pay when you go in.
Yeah.
But some of these countries have systems where you buy a ticket and you don't redeem it anywhere. You are just randomly audited. So you buy a ticket on the chance that you'll be audited.
Yeah.
And so we had a ticket, but it wasn't the right ticket. It was as much as the right ticket, it just went to the wrong location or something. It cost us like
yeah.
$200. I was so mad. And then when we took a cab, we got scammed by the mafia. There's a segment of the cab industry is run by the mafia. It's just the way it is, and you don't take those cabs.
Wow.
Except if you're a tourist, and you don't know better.
That's some scary stories about Prague, but the Charles Bridge was gorgeous,
Oh,
and the
it's such a
astronomical
beautiful city.
clock and Old Town Square. We stayed right near Old Town Square, and we really loved it. So I would go back there one day. But yeah, that's in the past, so we won't be able to visit you on our next trip.
Now, we're headed over to Istanbul,
Istanbul.
Amsterdam,
Yep.
Belgium, Luxembourg.
A day in Paris, perhaps. All right, what else? Why do you think Canon don't go crazy with chasing megapixels as opposed to Nikon?
Saw that.
That's a really good question, and I wonder this a lot. And I think part of it is they don't have the technology. Nikon doesn't have the technology either. They buy sensors from Sony. Sony has the technology, and they seem to be the only company in the world that has the technology.
What do you think? Why don't you think they just buy it from Sony? Do you think they have some like special contract with them or something where they can't sell to anybody else?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's true because they do sell sensors to other companies too.
Oh.
I suspect Canon is just proud. No, the Canon
Canon's
sensors tend to be a little lower noise, but they're just not keeping up as far as the sensor ratings go. But there's all these rumors that Canon's working on a big, huge, high megapixel, like 50 megapixel lens or sensor.
Sensor.
So stay tuned. I think the next big announcement is we're going to see a really exciting sensor, like maybe the 5D Mark IV will have something really high megapixel.
Okay, I'm excited about that.
Just my next guess. We'll see. Maybe they got it banking, but I was real disappointed when the 5D Mark III didn't have better image quality than the 5D Mark II. That was a bummer.
That was a bummer, says Tony Northrup.
Did you get your mic working, Justin?
Try it, Justin.
Yeah, it should be now.
Okay, you want to ask a question?
Yeah.
And I'll pull up a couple
I
of
gotta
pictures.
change my batteries now. Anyway, I'll ask another question. I'd love to hear about copyrights. When to use, when not to. How does one of those fancy logos you can't add through Lightroom? I think they mean watermark. I'm sure you get that.
A watermark? What do they want to know? Yes.
Okay,
I
so
guess when it's appropriate to copyright your.
Oh,
as soon as you take a picture, it's automatically copyrighted.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You never have to register the copyright. It's just always copyrighted. You can add a watermark if you want to.
if somebody wants to steal your picture, that's not going to stop them. It doesn't make it more copyrighted than before. It's more of a branding thing if you want to use a logo.
Yeah. So let's take a look at a couple of pictures that people have submitted. And again, please contribute, add a comment with your own thoughts, and read other people's comments, kind of see what everybody else thinks about these pictures too.
How nice is this little family?
Yeah, these look like ring-tailed lemurs to me. And they have got to be the cutest animals. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a great picture. Looks like everybody's eyes are nice and sharp.
They're so cute.
I predict that you have a processing suggestion here.
Yeah, bring up the shadows.
Bring up the shadows. I knew you would say
Bring up
that.
the shadows.
But the mom's eyes here are a little dark, and the baby's eyes are perfect. So yeah,
The baby's
just bring the
cute.
shadows up a little bit.
Let's
But
squeeze it.
fantastic shot. Let's go over to our next picture here. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Got to level that horizon, right?
Level that horizon.
Who is this? Jason Canfield. But otherwise, I think it's a great shot.
It's a nice shot.
It seems like it could use a little more contrast. I don't know if it was just a hazy day, but overall, the composition is really nice. Because you have a reflection in it and you're almost at symmetrical, I'd probably put that horizon line like right in the middle.
Yeah.
And just go for a symmetrical composition.
Yeah. Agree with you. Ooh, I love this one.
Yeah,
Simple.
this is really pretty.
I might even put that one in black and white just because it's all about the lines and the depth.
Yeah, that's definitely something to check out, though I don't find the colors too distracting. It's such a great spot. I think what I would do there is just hold out and wait for somebody to come walking through.
Oh, I would bring somebody.
Or bring
I would bring you.
Make me
Put
pose.
you in a beautiful outfit, make you pose underneath that arch.
I guess that's my way of saying I wish it had a focal point.
I still like it though, even without that added element.
Yeah, I definitely like it a lot too, and that's kind of what I'm saying. I think it's so great. It's when I see a spot like that, I make a mental note like this is a great spot for a picture. It's a great background.
Yeah, it is also a good background on top.
But it can work on its own.
It's a good
too.
standalone picture as well.
All right, so here we have what looks like a yellow jacket trying to get into a bud. And that's an amazing macro photo, actually. I love the rule of thirds composition. You don't often see macro photos with a solid composition.
Yeah.
Because you're just so focused on just getting a sharp picture and not getting your ass stung. But I think you overall just kind of nailed it. The depth of field is perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think, Justin? You got any other questions? Is your mic working?
It should be now.
How you living over there, Jay?
Yeah, just a couple more minutes left.
I love this question by Surunias Zakoskas.
Good
Tony, how many people have you killed?
one. Just a few. God. No more than the average person.
I can't.
8, 10.
I can't talk about it.
Don't act like you're emotional about it. He just whatever when he wants, you know?
Look, I served in 2 world wars. I had to kill just to protect myself.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I don't know if you technically count it as killing, but I did man a B-17 bomber for a long time.
That's
We
just
went on a lot of raids, so
that's in poor taste, so I'm gonna just skim past this question. Hope we get something better in the future.
here's a picture from Chris Greenwood, one of his
Garbage.
stunning
Garbage.
landscape photos.
Junk and garbage.
Chris Greenwood is one of our favorite stunners, and this is amazing. He went for a perfect rule of thirds composition. The reflection is fantastic. But you know what my favorite part of the picture is?
Dick.
Sorry?
Duck. Were they you?
Yes, it's that goose or duck right there. It's just that one extra thing that
Oh, it's a Canada goose.
the picture needed.
Goose.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I love the
This
little
is
detail
like
on the sky.
The
I don't know what to
best,
say. It's perfect.
junkiest picture I've ever seen. I've never seen one better.
I feel like you have a contentious relationship with Chris Greenwood. Why are you?
I just always wanted to call a nice picture junk for some reason. Like we're so nice all the time. What's up with the squirrel's hair?
This is a good squirrel picture, but I do not
No, I
know what's
disagree.
happened with
What?
the processing.
This squirrel's out of control. It's using like Paul Mitchell gel or something.
I don't know if that's just massive noise reduction or if they put like a painterly.
Yeah, it looks like oil painting setting. Okay, so you got a great composition. You did everything right, but then something went a little bit awry.
I think they intended to do that.
Well,
If it's an accident, I don't know what happened.
You're gonna. Let's just keep going.
You have any questions for us, Justin? I'll pull up a couple more pictures.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
More sort of comments more than anything.
Okay.
John O'Keefe says, I guess these are more morbid kind of things. If I had to go to prison, I would want to be in a cell with Tony.
I don't think that's morbid. I think that's sexual. And I agree. Tony is a fun man.
I assume it's because I'm excellent at escaping with things and I have a long storied history in security, so I'm sure I could get us out of the prison.
Hey,
I also have a background in legal defense, so maybe I'd be able to get us out of there based on legal grounds.
hey, you just paint this picture however you need to feel better.
All
What
right,
else,
maybe he saw
Justin?
those Velveeta
I like
pictures.
these creepy comments about
Yeah.
Tony. Could you read me more? 'Cause this is making my night.
Bring it on.
Let's see here. Well, is one to plug Stunner's Kids, a place for all the kids to post their
Is
shots.
Ericy plugging this?
Yes.
Ericy! No, I like the idea of Stunner Kids.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think the best thing you can do is get kids involved in photography and just teach
Yeah.
them to appreciate light while they're young and to appreciate what they see in the world around them. Because kids, they can drive through the most beautiful landscapes and they'll be looking at their stupid phone. Like, they just miss stuff. You have to teach them to see it. To try to get a kid to look at a sunset. So
Kids
get
like
your kids
sunsets.
involved in photography. How do they get to Stunner Kids, Justin?
They have to already be Oh, no, it's just on Facebook.
I think it's limited to...
Yeah.
It's open.
Wait, but shouldn't you have to be a stunner to get into Stunner Kids?
Yeah, I think it's limited to people reading stunning
Okay.
digital photography. So
Yeah.
tell you what, check the Stunning Digital Photography Readers Group, and I'm pretty sure Eric will put a link in there
Yeah,
for
put a
everybody who
link,
wants to get their
Erky.
kids involved.
Yeah. This picture's cool.
Yeah, this is a match picture, and I like the composition here a lot. You can see the matches behind it have already burned, and we have fire up here.
It makes
it's a
me
beautiful
feel
picture.
scared, like it's going to come get me. Oh, the domino effect, it's called. That's cool.
Yeah, fantastic concept. A really great concept and planning, and
Very
I
cool.
appreciate it.
I love this corn, too.
Oh, of course it's corn. I did not know what that was, but great detail and fantastic close-up work, and I love that it's just abstracted. The color is so just bright and
It's
vibrant.
really cool.
Really nicely done.
Remember the corn we got this weekend?
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know. No. I didn't know you could mess up corn. so
Corn
bad.
on the cob, yeah.
Yeah, we went to a restaurant and got corn on the cob, and they had frozen it first, and then they reheated it partially, so it was ice cold, like at the bottom, like near the cob, and also so mushy that it was just like, what would you compare the texture to? Some kind of pudding.
Yeah.
I've never
Like
been
Velveeta.
I've never been so insulted in all my life. Someone
We're
calling
kind
it
of
corn.
foodies, if you can't tell.
Foodies? You don't have to be a foodie to know what corn is like. It's supposed to be hot and
Yeah, it should be hot.
and maybe not mushy. All right, sorry. I was really upset about that corn. You don't mess with my corn. This is a water droplet.
Yeah, more examples of high-speed photography. And I guess the first thing I noticed that, well, there's a lot of negative space around here. So I'd probably crop it down. And also there's just, it needs something. It's just
Corn.
gray. So you could put some corn in there, but I think with water droplet photography, one of the things you want to do is use the reflective room around you, which seems to be completely white. So what I will do is I will take some poster board, like it could be red and green poster board,
Yeah.
and put it up behind it and point your lights at that. And that will reflect the light into the water and give you these kind of fantastic colors.
Can't you just use the what is that in Lightroom? The split color? Would that help? Or would
Yeah,
that,
maybe.
It wouldn't look as good.
Maybe you could do it in processing. So yeah, you could experiment with it and try to liven it up a
Okay.
little bit. But yeah, throw some colors in there via reflections. Something to try.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what, it's about time to wrap it up because it's
Woo!
6 o'clock here and we're getting a little too drunk to continue on.
I'm getting a little antsy.
But I'll tell you what, Justin, you got one more question or comment for us before we wrap it up?
I bet it's about corn.
No, there wasn't that many photography questions compared to last week, unfortunately, but this one has me so curious. Chelsea, I finally got your cane poster today. What does that
Oh,
mean?
Rick Maxfield. He's really good at woodworking. Remember, he made us these really great
Yeah.
pens, and he made me
Yeah.
a bottle stopper.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, he also makes beautiful wood frames, and then he puts old movie posters in them. And he asked me which old movies I liked, and I said Citizen's Kane. So he got me a Citizen's Kane movie poster, and he made me a frame for my birthday. It's really nice.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
really
isn't
nice.
that really nice? I can't wait to get it.
Awesome.
All right, well, thanks so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
Rick.
us. You can meet us here every Monday at 5 o'clock. And of course, if you miss it, you can watch the recording. Help us out. Share it. Tell
Share
your
it.
friends about it. It's a show
Share it.
just for photographers. We'd love to hear your suggestions too, so feel free to contact me at tony@northrop.org. And to be sure to see future episodes, subscribe.
Subscribe. Share.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Take care,
you.
guys.
Okay.